Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Friday, January 20th. Ian Cameron with Skee and Billy Briz here on a Friday, ready to break it down once again. 9 games. We'll get it right into it. We've got the Pelicans and the Magic starting us off. New Orleans 2-point road favorites here, 228.5 the total in this matchup. New Orleans, they've dropped 2 games in a row heading into this matchup tonight against the Magic. They've been a banged-up team. They lose to Cleveland and Miami in back-to-back games, looking to bounce back, but still dealing with the absence of Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, we've talked about many times on this show. Without him, it's not the same team defensively either, and he's questionable with the back injury, same one that's kept him out now for 4 straight games, so I'm definitely waiting on news regarding that. Probably the way I bet this game is if Jones is in, I like the Pelicans a little bit because it's a tough spot for the Magic. It's really tough because they've been on the road for a very long period of time. They went through 5 games at Golden State, Sacramento, Portland, Utah, Denver, and now they're back home. That first home game is a tricky spot. Magic have lost 2 in a row going into this game as well. They're dealing with potentially no Franz Wagner tonight, questionable with an ankle injury. Pales in comparison to what the Pelicans are going through injury-wise, but still something to note. I think if Jones is in, I like the Pelicans a little bit to bounce back here. I mean, they still are better than Orlando, you would say, even though the Magic have been exceeding expectations at times this year. And on the flip side, if Jones is out, kind of lean over because we've talked about how this team defensively has suffered without him. So it really depends on his status. Lean over without him. Lean Pelicans with Jones on the floor tonight. Skee, what do you think here? Any thoughts? Pelicans, Magic?
Well, it is the first game back after a long road trip. Yeah, right. 5 games or more. But they had, I think, 4 days off, and they also play tomorrow. So it's a lot going on with the Magic here. And it kind of keeps you from getting involved. If I look at the trends, home road splits, you have a combined 28 and 15 to the over, combining to average 236.9. And that would get us well over what we're looking at today. So it makes sense why the opener was 225 and we already see 229s. It might not even be high enough.
Yeah, the over definitely makes sense. And it's, like I say, it's even stronger if the Pelicans, once again, don't have one of their better defenders on the floor tonight in Herb Jones. And shout out to Eric Parsley in our chat, new member of the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. Again, it's only $4.99. It's worth it to become a Pub Sports Radio YouTube member. Pub Club, become a member right now. Billy Briz, what do you think here? New Orleans, Orlando.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards the Magic here. They're 7-3 ATS, last 10 home games, 4-1 ATS, last 5 overall. I feel like the average bettor is going to bet the Pelicans at chalk money, and they don't really want to bet the Magic. But I think the Magic as home dogs have some value. Pelicans have been their defense has been terrible without Ingram and Zion. And it's starting to really show in their ATS record. 3-8 ATS last 11 road games, 2-5 ATS last 7 games overall. I lean towards the Magic covering, but I kind of don't want to bet it though.
All right, New York and Atlanta next up. Hawks 3-point home favorites, 229 the total as the Hawks take on the Knicks. A lot of history with these two teams. Playoff matchup, of course, a couple of years ago. Knicks 113-89. They got the big win against Atlanta the last time these two teams met back in December. And the Knicks also losing at home to Atlanta at home before that, 112-99. So it's been a split here in the 2 head-to-head meetings. Both of them were at Madison Square Garden. This is the first time the Knicks have traveled to Atlanta this year. They're off a 116-105 loss against Washington on Wednesday night. I was on the Wizards there, plus the points. And Wizards did one better. They ended up winning that game outright. Atlanta, all of a sudden, with 4 straight victories, and they've covered in each of the last 3. At Toronto, beating Miami on Martin Luther King Day, and then 130-122 win against the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday night. I think, but what's been impressive from them is DeJounte Murray's play lately. He's been absolutely sensational here for the Atlanta Hawks on the offensive end. They've been scoring a lot of points. He's been scoring a lot of points. So last 2 games, big reason why they won, covered, and the game also flew over the total. So we'll see if that carries over here to tonight against the New York Knicks. You've got the New York Knicks coming into this game with questions about whether Mitchell Robinson will play. On the Atlanta side, Bogdanovich Looks like he is going to be a game-time decision, questionable with the knee injury. There was concern about Trae Young possibly missing tonight, but he has been upgraded to probable for tonight's game against the Knicks, so it looks like Trae will be in there for them. The numbers dropped to 3. It's 3 pretty much across the board. Considering laying the points with Atlanta here, I mean, they've lost 2 to New York, or they've actually split the 2 meetings, but they lost the most recent one to New York. They're playing a little bit better. 3 at home. I'm leaning Atlanta here a little bit for the first. I haven't bet Atlanta a lot lately, but they're starting to turn some heads a little bit. They're starting to at least impress me a little bit. The Miami and Dallas back-to-back victories, they were very good, especially offensively. So probably Atlanta lean for me, and maybe some Murray props because he's definitely been the one cooking lately for the Hawks. What do you think here, Skee? New York, Atlanta?
I think if I was betting anything in this game, it would probably be Julius Randle's rebounds. It's 13.5 now, but he's hit that 7 of the last 9, if I'm not mistaken. So Hawks, I get that they get Capella back, but still, I know the numbers show me that they're the second worst rebounding team in the league. I just think I don't like this game that much. I feel like that's the one edge I maybe could see. So that's what I roll with.
All right, Billy, what do you think here, Knicks Hawks? You're muted.
I'm kind of leaning towards the Knicks covering here. It's been a rival game between these two teams, or just road cover. And I mean, 26-7 ATS last 33 games. The Hawks are 10-25 ATS last 35 following an ATS win. I know the Hawks have been playing a little bit better here, but probably say Knicks first half or nothing here. But probably going to pass on this one.
Now, the button won't unmute. There we go. Passing for Billy here in this one. All right, Golden State and Cleveland. Cleveland, 11.5-point home favorites, 220 the total in this one. This is definitely one where I actually did bet this early. I like Cleveland in this spot anyway, with Golden State on the back-to-back after playing in Boston last night against the Celtics. A tough turnaround for them. National TV game. Now you play Cleveland tonight, and you hung in there. You lost in overtime, 121-118. Not a good Golden State spot. So I like them anyway. And thankfully, this is one of those times, usually I miss out, right? I don't bet it early enough. But I actually laid 8 with Cleveland this morning. And now it's up to 11.5. And the reason for that is obviously on this back-to-back situation. You see the absences for the Warriors, Curry, Green, Thompson, Wiggins, Weissman, they're all sitting tonight for the Golden State Warriors. So kind of taking a nosedive, if you will, as far as the starters tonight in this game. And then on the Cleveland side, Donovan Mitchell, who of course missed the game against the Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday night, groin issue, questionable for this game. So they may get Donovan Mitchell back, the Cavaliers. And like I said, even if they don't, clear Cleveland spot back home after a tough loss to the Grizzlies, 115-114 in their last game back at home, where still overall for the season, they've not been nearly as automatic at home the last few weeks, but still they're 19-4 straight up and at 16-6. No, 16-7 against the spread at home this season. So yeah, Cleveland, I got -8. It's gone up now. Maybe you pump the brakes a little, or maybe you look first half, or at least a split of some kind with the Cavaliers if you still want to bet that side at a worse number. But yeah, definitely a Cleveland spot tonight. Skee, what do you think? Warriors, Cavs?
Yeah, the one thing not to like about Cleveland is that I think they definitely care about the game versus Milwaukee tomorrow. But other than that, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm looking at Donovan Mitchell. The last game he was doubtful. This game, he's questionable. I feel like that's a little bit more telling us like he's going to play in this one. And for Golden State, you already talked about it. They're coming off that overtime game. All these minutes that these guys play, you already see it now with the line. I mean, everybody's out. You kind of could figure that. So I'm happy. I got in on this game -7. And where it stands right now, I mean, everybody knows how the Warriors and Cavs are home and road. So I'm not surprised that the line is going where it is too, especially with everybody out. But where it goes right now, I probably would think, with the people Golden State are going to play, they don't play any defense. The Cavs going to be able to get whatever they want tonight. And I don't know how interested the Cavs are going to be and playing their best defense too when they look on the other side and don't see any of the stars or starters out there. I think it'll be more of an offensive game. And Golden State's still going to play up tempo. I feel like the Cavs might even play a little bit faster in this one just for the same reasons. And I can give you a query and all the numbers that favor the over and the Cavaliers, but really that's what it boils down to, what I just said right now. So I dipped in when I saw it go to 219, and I just clicked on this tab now. It is at 220, the best. Oh no, it's a 219.5 at Bet Online.
Yep.
And that's probably where I would get in at. I think it's dipped down too low. It'll still be up tempo and it'll be no defense. So I'm on Cavaliers -7. If you're betting right now, bet the over with me at 219.5.
There you go. So you're getting the ass end of the number too, in a good way, of course. I mean, obviously, if you're getting the under, you're getting the worst. But if you're getting the over and you want to jump in on the over, and the over makes some sense when you think about the defensive issues, especially on the road for Golden State, you're getting the best of it now. 219.5. That is a watermark low for the total in this game. So now's the time to bet over if you like it. What do you think here, Billy?
I kind of lean towards the Warriors here, plus 11.5. I think this could be too many points here. I know the Warriors have been bad on the road, and Cleveland's been really good at home, but the Warriors have historically played well here. 7-0 ATS last 8 meetings in Cleveland, 16-5 last 21 head-to-head, different squad here. But, sometimes these are the type of games that those role players want to step up in. They want to get more minutes in the rotation. I know you're going to see some inspired hearts out there, and I don't think Wiggins was ruled out, was he?
Yeah, he's out. He's out too.
He's out too. Damn, I mean, it's gonna be a DiVincenzo show here. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna put it in my pocket, but I lean towards the Warriors here, man.
All right, there we go. Next up, we've got Miami, Dallas. Miami 1.5-point road favorites, 218.5 being the total in this one. Miami's taking some money for the Dallas Mavericks. Looks like for them, Christian Wood, I guess, is the main reason why we've seen some movement. He's out, downgraded out, and when you don't have one of your big front court players available, that's concerning when you've got a guy like Bam on the other side. Tim Hardaway, game time decision. Maxi Kleber out for Dallas, it looks like tonight. Luka's going to play, so that's definitely significant, and you always have to keep an eye on that. Miami, you talk about a team that's been kind of up and down all season. They were starting to play some better basketball. They had that bad game against Atlanta, but they did right the ship against New Orleans last game, 124-98 beatdown over the New Orleans Pelicans. Dallas has lost 5 of their last 6 games, the only win against the Lakers. So, yeah, it's Miami or pass for me. I mean, I can't endorse Dallas right now at this point in time. And number does feel a little bit cheap, actually, on the Miami side. So the Heat money line definitely would look that way. What do you think here, Skee, Miami, Dallas?
Isaiah, what is your Twitter? Put it in the chat. Miami and Dallas. This is what I'll say. It was hard for me to play this game just because I have a lot of things conflicting. Obviously, no Christian Wood is going to hurt. The Dallas side is going to hurt the total as far as expecting points. And then both of these teams playing extremely slow. So it's very hard for me to trust points. Then, Miami Heat, you can trust them to play defense. I think the safest thing for me to think, when I'm just thinking about the game, is Heat have been better offensively. They're probably going to be better without Christian Wood out there too. They're definitely a better defensive team, and they've been a better rebounding team too. So why not bet the Heat tonight at the short price? I haven't bet it yet. Maybe I'm talking myself into it. And the system I have, it tells me pretty much the last 3 games that Dallas has played, they've cleared this, total number by more than 10 points. And it's saying that the Heat are coming off an over game too. And usually in this situation, it's a little bit close to 60% overs since 2016. So I get the system. I also get why to play the under. That's why I stay off the total. I guess if I'm going to play anything, it's the Heat minus the short price.
There you go. I was going to say, if Skee's blocking you on Twitter, you probably fucked up. That's the way I see it. I don't know. You've probably done something or outlandish, crazy, asinine, stupid. But nevertheless, I'll leave that to you there, Isaiah. But what do you think here, Billy? Miami and Dallas?
He said something to Skee about a game or something like that. And Skee was like, he probably looked on his phone and was like, man, fuck that motherfucker. And blocked him. And so I know how it goes, man. I know how it goes. But I don't blame Skee, though, man. I mean, the Mavericks are 16-29-1 ATS, tied with the Rockets for the worst ATS record this year. I mean, it kind of feels like a Heat spot, 5-2 ATS last 7 games overall, 15-5-1 ATS last 21 meetings in Dallas. So historically, it hasn't been that bad of a spot for him. 9-4-1 ATS last 14 head-to-head as well. And Doncic has only averaged 41.4 points, rebounds, and assists against the Heat, failing to go over his prop in all 6 prior meetings. So, I mean, if Doncic goes under, so does the Mavericks. And I kind of like Bam Adebayo here. This is a really good spot for him. I'm on this double-double minus 155 at Bet365. Adebayo has been more aggressive throughout the first month of the season here. He scored 20 or more points in 10 of his last 11 games and at least 11 rebounds in 6 of his last 8 games. The Mavericks are going to be without Christian Wood. Fractured thumb. So I think I even like the matchup even better. The Mavericks allow 4th most points to centers and most rebounds to centers. So smash spot for Adebayo.
There you go. All right. Clippers and Spurs. We've got LA Clippers, 7-point road favorites, 231 the total here in this one. It looks like for the Clippers, they will have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard on the floor. You always have to watch out for that. Luke Kennard still out. Devin Vassell looks like he's going to miss the game for the San Antonio Spurs tonight. The Spurs coming off a stunner, absolute stunner against Brooklyn, 106-98 in their last game, although Brooklyn not totally at full strength in that one. And then on the last couple of games for the Clippers, they've been pretty much blown out by the Sixers and by the Jazz in their last 2 games. We'll see if they can bounce back and right the ship here in this one against the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, they will have all hands on deck. You think it's a spot with Paul George and Kawhi on the floor. It's a chance for them to absolutely annihilate this San Antonio team. They have won and covered twice this year against San Antonio. 7-point win in San Antonio and then a 22-point win at home. So, yeah, clear Clippers spot for sure. Do I want to lay 7 on the road? Not in a rush to do it, but I would lean that way. What do you think here, Skee? Clippers and Spurs?
My thought process here is you have a Spurs team who is a little bit more rested and probably happy and satisfied off of a win. And you have the Clippers team who has lost 2 straight. The last game that they just lost was a blowout, who's probably a little bit more pissed off and hungry tonight. So I'm looking at that. You have a Clippers team who is not even at 500 right now. And you have another team on the other side who is a bottom feeder. This is where you take advantage of a team. This is where you get right, in my eyes. I know the Clippers have struggled on the road, but I think this is a prime spot here. Paul George, he's expected to have his minutes restrictions raised a little bit to 35 minutes. Kawhi, the last 5 games that he's actually been on the court and played against the Spurs, they've won 4 out of 5 by an average of 16 points. I think, he always takes it personal whenever he's facing them. And Clippers are already the better team in general. And when the Clippers win as a favorite so far this year, it's been 18 games. They've won 14 of them by the margin. Those games they win them by like close to 10 points per game. So I think there's a little bit of wiggle room there. Clippers last 5 game stats, the way I like to cap, they're better offensive rated, defensive rated, rebound percentage, even though Spurs have been covering the number. And I think because Spurs have been covering the number for such a long time now, we're starting to get better prices against them. Like, you want the Spurs when you're getting those double-digit type of numbers, right? Or unless it's like them tricky spots where they're like, you have the Spurs +3, why are they +3? But these numbers right here, like a 7, I feel like that's a soft spot for the Spurs. So I like the Clippers in this spot, and that's what I'm rolling with.
All right, liking the Clippers here. Billy, what do you think, Clip Spurs?
I'm liking what Skee's talking about, man. I wanted to find a way to get on the Clippers here, but I couldn't get in on the touchdown. But Probably use him as a little parlay piece here tonight. But both Kawhi and PG are both going to be in for this one. And they're 4-1 ATS last 5 meetings in San Antonio, 5-2 ATS last 7 meetings head-to-head. The Spurs have been allowing 124.2 points per game last 10 games, which is worse than the NBA. They've been gritty at home, 6-2 ATS last 8 home games, 6-2 ATS last 8 games overall as well. But I think the Clippers go in here in San Antonio and put these boys off the floor.
All right, next up here, we've got Indiana and Denver. Nuggets, 9-point home favorites, 237.5 the total. This is a bit of a fascinating game because Denver had been rolling on their home floor, beating teams up big, covering the numbers. They've been very good in that situation. And then all of a sudden, they played Minnesota a couple nights ago and escaped with a 122-118 victory. 9-point favorites did not cover the number in that one. We'll see if they can they won the game, but we'll see if they can win by margin here against Indiana, a team that the teams are very capable right now of beating the Indiana team by margin. I know that firsthand because best bet winner couldn't have been any easier for yours truly on the Wednesday show. Oklahoma City Thunder laying the 3.5 against Indiana, and they rolled the Indiana Pacers in that game. No Ty Halliburton, no Indiana. I mean, we've been talking about how without him, they have been nowhere close to that same basketball team. And it's really defensively they've fallen apart too without him. It's not so much what they miss offensively. Defensively, they haven't been any good the last 4 games since he's been out as well, Indiana. So I ain't stepping on Indiana tonight at any time soon. They've been giving up points in bunches. Total's high, but it's high for a reason. It's worth noting we've seen 2 40s the last 2 times these teams have played each other. So I'm kind of perplexed the total's going down a bit. I guess it's some reaction to the lineup we might see for Denver, where we've got Jamal Murray game time decision, although he's been upgraded to probable for the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets has been battling hamstring issues. See if he plays. Right now, he's listed as a game time decision for tonight, so that probably has impacted the total. But I'm not betting Indy, and I'm not betting an Indy game over right now. So it would be Denver or over for me, but we'll wait and see what the lineup looks like for the Nuggets. What do you think here, Skee? Indiana, Denver.
Yeah. I keep trying to think to get on the over here. I know I definitely don't want to be on Indiana. Joker or not, Denver has shown that they, obviously they're a lot worse without Joker, but I still think they're just so dominant at home that I don't want to bet against that anymore because they've gotten me a couple times already so far. Now, I'll mention, you already mentioned that they don't play any defense and they play up tempo. And Denver, usually they play slow, but if they play slow, but they're really efficient on offense. But if Jokic is not out there, they're probably going to play a little bit faster. They're probably going to be less efficient on offense, but the pace will be there. And if you have that with the defense that's, probably going to be played in this game, I would think to go over the total. It is a high number. Let me just glance really quick. I have a system also on this game that's active. Maybe this is why it's going down too. You look at the home road splits for both of these teams. They're combined 28 and 17 to the under. Those games combined to average a little bit under 230. And the total we're looking at today is well above that. And Denver's gone under 6 out of the last 8 games, which is the last 2 weeks. But I'll just mention the system I have for the over for anybody who likes it, and maybe you can do with this what you want. It says pretty much the team average points on the road plus the opponent's average points allowed at home is 10 points greater than 10 points greater than the total we're looking at, and the team has more unders than overs. So that's what it's looking at, and it's 58.1% to the over on about 900 plays, going back, I think, to 2016. So I'm not involved. I think if I was going to play one way or the other, I would go with the over.
All right, so lean over here for Skee in this one. All right, Billy Briz, what do you think? Pacers Nuggets.
Yeah, I really like this game. There's a very high total for a Pacers team that I don't really see a lot of scoring from, but I think the Nuggets are rightfully favored here. 7-2 ATS last 9 home games. The Pacers' form has really fallen off of recent. 1-4 ATS last 5 road games. 1-5 ATS last 6 overall. The Nuggets are the best ATS team in the first quarter here, 27-18 record, while the Pacers have a 14-41-1 ATS first quarter record this year. So I'm on the Nuggets minus 3.5 first quarter, minus 115. I think it's good money tonight. And prop-wise, this game is close. I kind of lean toward Miles Turner over 50.5 points if Jokic isn't out there. He scored 14 or more points in 9 consecutive games and 3 games of at least 29 points in that span. So if the Pacers keep it close, I think Miles Turner has a good game.
All right, Brooklyn and Utah next up here. Utah, 5.5-point home favorites, 231 the total in this game. And you can trace it all the way back, Brooklyn here, to the 4 games that they have played without Kevin Durant, who's obviously out for about a month with a MCL sprain in his right knee, and 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread for Brooklyn in these 4 games, losing to Boston, Oklahoma City as favorites, San Antonio on the road as favorites, Phoenix on the road as favorites last night, losing 117-112. And it's a rest advantage for Utah. Obviously, they played Wednesday night hosting the Clippers, and they blew out the Clippers 126-103. Short-handed Clippers team, but still they won and covered. So it is definitely rest advantage. Brooklyn on the back-to-back and in the thin air altitude. That's probably going to keep me off the game ultimately, although I did consider Brooklyn plus the points a little bit. I mean, they shouldn't be this much of a, obviously Kevin Durant matters anytime he's out, but they shouldn't be this much of a mess without him, considering the high level of basketball they were playing for an extended period of time. But clearly they've had issues, and that means Irving, Harris, those guys got to do a whole lot more on the offensive end for the Brooklyn Nets, and it's hard to trust them here with the struggles without KD on the back-to-back situation, the rest advantage for Utah. So that's pretty much what kept me off Brooklyn here in the end. What do you think here, Skee? Nets and Jazz?
Yeah, I just refuse to bet Utah as a favorite. I will not do it.
Yeah.
For that reason, and Utah, Brooklyn and Sabonis just listed as available to play for, I don't think we got to that game yet, so we can talk about that. But yeah, he just got available to play for anybody who's betting on that game. I don't like anything in this Brooklyn game. I'm trying not to backwood anything today. I'll just fade Utah just because they've shown they're not deserving as a favorite.
I would agree. I mean, I wouldn't lay points with Utah either. That's why I was trying to make a case for Brooklyn even on the back-to-back, but not crazy about doing so, especially with the back-to-back situation as well. And plus, you're in the high altitude on the back-to-back. That's really tough. What do you think here, Billy?
Backwood for me.
All right.
All right, next up.
Really quick
Yeah,
in the chat. AOD says Royce O'Neal revenge. Yeah, maybe. I mean, bet on him. I like when players go back to face their old team.
Yep.
Maybe you look at him. I'm not sure which categories, because looking at Utah last 5 games, they've been okay defensively. They've been solid, really good rebounding. So I'm not sure which way you pick at them, but that might be a good angle.
All right, next up here, we've got the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento 4.5-point home favorites, 243. I mean, the total's been bet up and probably is the right move. A lot of these teams have been, both of these teams have been trending over lately. Sacramento has, Oklahoma City has. There should be a lot of points. That is getting high, as far as this total goes. And, even the last time they played, it was 241 that they got for total points. And now this total is 242 to 243. So it's really up there between these two teams. I really can't wait to at some point fade Sacramento. I know they're 6-0 straight up, 6-0 against the spread their last 6 games, and everyone's talking about this great run that they put together. They're 25-18. They're third in the West. Isn't that bonkers to think of that they're third in the West right now? It's just absolutely nuts that the Kings are up there. But let's keep it in perspective here. The 6 wins, actually, if you go back and further than that, the last 8 wins for the Sacramento Kings, 2 against Utah, Orlando, 2 against Houston, San Antonio, and the Lakers. Okay, this schedule at some point is going to get tough for them, tougher, and they're going to be facing a lot of better teams, and that's probably when they're going to regress a little bit. They're not going to be able to keep this up, but right now they're feeling it, and right now they're playing an Oklahoma City team that in theory is a winnable opponent, winnable game, beatable opponent right now for Sacramento. But the Thunder are also playing well. So for me, this is a tricky game because Sacramento's just on fire. They're capable of beating the average to below average teams, and that's what this is here. The Thunder, although the Thunder haven't played like a below average team, they're on their own strong 6-1 straight up, 7-0 against the spread run in their last 7 games, and they've been very good to me. And the Thunder. So this is a lean to the over, and the numbers creeped up. I understand why that is, 3 to 4.5. Everybody's enamored with the Kings right now and what they're doing. But keep in mind, we've got Sabonis, who was at shoot around this morning, which makes you think that after sitting out Wednesday, not practicing yesterday, he might be back on the floor tonight for the Sacramento Kings. We'll wait and see on that. It's pretty much going to be the same starting 5 for the Thunder. Pokusevski's still out, but he's been missing for a bunch of games now for the Thunder. Numbers up. It's not like I'm rushing to bet against either of these teams in this spot, but the more the number climbs, the more I get a little bit interested in the Thunder at plus points in this game. What do you think here, Skee? Thunder, Kings?
Well, numbers to what you were saying about the recent form and all that stuff for the overs. I mean, the last 2 weeks, they're combined 10-3 to the over. And if you look at the home road splits the last 2 weeks, it's 7-1. Home road splits on the season, 27-7 to the over. So, I mean, all the trends point you towards the over. And I know these teams play up tempo. As long as you have Sabonis in there, which he just got rolled in, he's a lot of their offense, whether it's facilitating or scoring. So it's good to see him in if you like the over. And that's probably the only way I would like to play this one. I want to play OKC too, just because they've been so good as a road dog. But I haven't gotten there yet. So lean OKC and also lean the over.
Yeah, I mean, it's a clash of surging teams and surging point spread teams. Both of these teams have been cashing for their backers, so it's not easy to go against either one. But now that it's up to 4.5, I've got some mild interest in OKC now at this number. What do you think here, Billy Briz? OKC, Sacramento?
Yeah, the Thunder are playing well right now, but this might be a legit Kings team here, man. I think the historical trends really aren't in their favor here. The Thunder are 0-4 ATS last 4 in Sacramento, 1-5 ATS last 6 meetings overall. So in a pace-up spot here, I can see a lot of props hitting into this game, but it's really hard to identify one specific prop. I kind of wanted to play Sabonis a little bit, but as of right now, everything is temporary on this game. If the night's going well, we might have a little bit of action on this game. If the night's not going too hot, we might stay off of this one.
All right, we got the Grizzlies and Lakers now. Final game for this Friday. Grizzlies 5.5, 6-point road favorites, I should say, in LA. 244 the total in this one. Another high total, of course, and it's hard not to place the total high with Memphis right now. 8 straight games for Memphis have gone over the total. The Lakers have actually become more of an under team, even though we've talked about the premise of bet overs with AD out, but they've actually trended under in some of their recent games. We'll see LeBron questionable again with the left ankle issue tonight, but remember, he's played the last 4 games, and many of these games he's on the injury report and he's listed as questionable, so it wouldn't shock me to see him play through it, which has often been the case. They lost 116-111 on Wednesday night to that aforementioned red-hot Sacramento Kings team. Obviously looking to bounce back. They will in this matchup, but I'm telling you what, Memphis has been absolutely a machine here so far, especially as of late. This is the fourth meeting, the second meeting, I should say, this year. Oh, how many times? Oh, yeah, this is the second meeting. No, first meeting this year. Those were last year, all those games. Grizzlies and Lakers. They haven't played each other yet this season. But last year, they played each other 4 times, and the Grizzlies won 3 of those 4, covered 3 of those 4 head-to-head. You look at them as road favorites, too, lately. 18-point beatdown at Indiana. Win and cover at Orlando by 8, and then they smashed Charlotte 131-107 as 7.5-point road favorites. So on the road, laying points, Memphis has been getting it done. So I definitely have a look toward the Grizzlies here, 5.5, 6, and yeah, Lakers overs rather have cooled off the last few games, but I ain't betting under with Memphis right now, and this could be one of those games where I don't know if the Lakers are going to be able to contain the Grizzlies much. Who's going to stay in front of John Morant tonight? Who's going to be able to handle the size down low with no AD for this Grizzlies team that they can throw at you? So I think it's going to be trouble for the Lakers defensively here. What do you think here, Skee? Grizzlies, Lakers?
Yeah, I'd probably bet the Grizzlies. They've been winning and covering. They've won 11 straight. I don't see why you would bet against them. Prop wise, I like Thomas Bryant under. I took him under 20 and a half just because he's not getting minutes anymore. He's getting outplayed by Gabriel lately. So I like that. And he also has a tough matchup with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams probably do a good job too. So I like his under. And also, if I was going to bet anything else on the other side, probably Steven Adams over his points just because he's gone over 6 of the last 8 games and there's not a lot of rim protection on the other side. So one of those 2 props would be the way I would go. Thomas Bryant is in my pocket, though.
It just seems like in this matchup for the Lakers, it's going to be tough. John, Desmond Bane in that backcourt, tough to match up with that. Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams in the low post with no AD, it's tough to match up with that. So where is the edge for the Lakers? It's hard to find one. What do you think here, Bill?
Yeah, shouts to Bo Jackson. He says the Grizzlies can set a franchise record tonight with 12 straight wins. So definitely some motivation here for the Grizzlies national television spot here. Lakers 4-1 ATS last 5 games following a loss, 7-3 ATS last 10 games overall. Grizzlies 4-0 ATS last 4 road games. I'm leaning towards the over here, even though it's really high. I think the Grizzlies win and the game goes over. I think interesting way, if you don't like the Lakers, you can hit the team total under if you think the Grizzlies play defense. But I like John Morant over 27.5 points, minus 135, 28.5 in some spots. National television game, pace up spot with a bad Lakers defense. I expect Morant to show out. He scored over 30 plus twice in his last 5 games. Over the past 15 games, the Lakers have allowed the 5th most points per game and the 4th most points in the paint. So good spot here for John Morant. I think he shows out on this ESPN spot.
Yeah, that's the thing too. People will say, well, the Lakers aren't the old Lakers. And now people will take, maybe, sleepwalk and go through the motions against the Lakers. I don't think that'll be the case tonight for Memphis. Also because of the television element. This is a national TV game on ESPN tonight. So I do think you get Memphis bringing their
Stars
best
are going to
tonight.
be out in LA tonight in the Staples Center, dude. It's Friday night in LA. Everyone's going to be motivated to play.
Yeah, I definitely think that's I don't think you're going to see Grizzlies overlooking this team tonight. All right, good stuff. That is the Friday NBA card. Hit the like button, everybody on YouTube watching. We appreciate it very much. We'll be back to wrap things up with best bets right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Southtown 101, and manscaped.com. Promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase, Lawnmower 4.0 or anything on the website. 20% off, free shipping with promo code PubSports. All right, best bets to wrap it up for this Friday edition, final show of the week for the NBA Pub Hub. Skee, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
The best thing I can give you are the lines have not moved. I did, like I said, I jumped back in on this Miami-Dallas game. You can get a better number than I got right now. You can get over 218 is the best number I see right now. So that'll be the best bet for the show.
All right, there you go. Liking that for the best bet for Skee. Billy Briz, what do you got for best bet?
Yeah, we're going to rock with the Nuggets, minus 3.5 first quarter here. Nuggets best ATS covering team in the first quarter. Even without Jokic, it's only going to go down to 2.5, maybe 1. And we're rocking with the Nuggets here, man. Confident in that one. John Morant over 27.5 points is going to be the top player prop of the day.
Hey,
all right.
Ian, my bad. I haven't eaten today, and I'm tired, man. I messed up.
Okay.
I said the wrong game. That's my bad, you guys.
All right.
Don't bet that.
Rewind. Redo.
Cash out your tickets.
I apologize. I need to go have some lunch or something. I'm like starving. But it was supposed to be Golden State and Cleveland. It's down to 219.5, and we're going over on that number.
There you go. Okay, here we go. Just to reiterate, over 219.5, best bet for Skee Profit, Golden State, Cleveland. There you go. Golden State, Cleveland, over 219. No, he's hungry. He's not high. He's hungry. Maybe he's high. Just saying, he's definitely hungry. No question about that. He's getting ready for that big steakhouse dinner somewhere. He's going somewhere swank after this show, I can tell. Yeah, he's going to get. He'll get some food in him. He'll be fine. No question. I know what it's like when you're hungry.
It's Friday. It's the end of the week. You know, Ian.
Yep, it is. Exactly. I know what it's like when you're starving. It's like, geez, you don't care what's going on around you. You don't care about, finishing up anything you need to do. You just got to eat something. And it bothers you. You can't eat something right now. That's what you're like when you're hungry. And I've had those moments before for sure. All right, best bets, or best bet, I should say, for this card. Let's go right back to that last game on the board. We're going to lay the 5.5 at -120. It's out there actually at -120 at Bookmaker. Memphis Grizzlies -5.5 against the LA Lakers. I think they win this game by enough of a margin to cover that number, and they get the job done. Grizzlies -5.5 against the Lakers for my best bet for this Friday card. And that'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Hub, so we can let Skee get some damn grub in his system. There you go. We got Monday. We'll be back 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. OG Monday of the NBA Pub Hub. We'll be back in our normal time on Monday, of course, 4 p.m. Eastern. We only were on earlier this past Monday because of MLK Day, but we'll be back at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, the normal time on Monday with the NBA Pub Hub. Connor Mack and me coming up top of the hour for college basketball net profit. For Billy Briz and Skee Profit, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night and weekend. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again Monday for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio.